What did you guys find something in the third quarter the other night just against their defense that really kind of allowed you to unlock a little bit?
I thought it started with our defense. We weren't happy with the way we got in the first half. They were way too comfortable, and we just weren't matching quick, and we weren't disciplined on a lot of aspects of the game. And I think once we picked up our focus, our intensity defensively, I think everything else started to click, and we were able to run and get some transition offense going too.
In this series, you've run the floor quite a bit too, and found some opportunities. How big of a part of your game is that? Just like beating guys down the floor for easy chances?
It's huge. It creates a lot of opportunity. Most of the time, not for myself, or for my teammates, but it forces them to collapse, and then gives us an advantage. So it's important for me to keep doing that.
Rudy, what's the difference in a closeout game at home versus the road in terms of approach, emotion of the moment, and managing all that?
For me, I'm just trying to focus on what I bring to the table, on the court, and my approach, my focus today is Shootaround, my communication, my teammates, everything. Just basketball game at the end of the day. So it's about just bringing the right mindset, bringing the energy, and being focused on the present moment.
What makes you guys so good in closeout games? I mean, whether it was Phoenix last year, Denver last year, LA last series.
I think our level of urgency is really high, and as long as we have that high urgency, high focus, high energy, usually, good things happen.
Rudy, do you feel too like, they've thrown everything at you guys and they're still down? Is a good start key because they're questioning themselves some, and if you can get off to a good start, you can drive the ship from there?
They're a very well-coached team. They throw a lot of different things at us, and some of them a lot of time bothered us, and then we have to be ready for anything and be ready to be aware of what they're going to throw at us, and then be able to react and play accordingly.
Nikhil was talking about your role this series after Game 4, and he said that he's gone up and told you how impressed he's been by what you've done, and he also recognizes that your numbers can change from night to night based on what you're being asked to do. Have you felt like this group come together in terms of throwing numbers out the window and recognizing that the game plan can change night to night, whatever, but we're just headed towards the common goal?
1,000%. It's about winning, and there's been games when I closed, there's been games when I didn't close. I want to close every night, obviously, but when I don't, I want my teammates to shine. We have a lot of talent in this locker room, and this is the strength of our team. Being able to give another team different looks, and for me, for myself in particular, it's about being the best every possession that I can be on both ends, and a lot of times, sometimes you won't translate by having a high box score type game, but the way I impact the other team and the way I impact my teammates is the most important.
Rudy, do you think, you look at young players, you're a veteran, but do you see how they grow through the playoffs? You're going back to last year, this is 5 straight playoff series. What happens to Ant and Jaden the more they play in these kind of games, play on the road, play in these big games?
You learn so much. You learn so much about, wins, losses. Every game is like a movie. Every game has so many things happening in them, that, and it's such a high intensity moment that there's so many lessons that you get. Some of them you take a longer time to process. Some of them you process quicker, and that's what experience is so valuable. It's in life and in sports. You learn from all of these high pressure moments, and you grow from them. So every year I thought they learn just like I learn every year. I'm year 12 now, but every year has been so many learning experiences, and now we get to bring back everything we've learned and try to apply it for this moment and to make the best of this moment.
Rudy, after game 2, Julius had mentioned just the role that Joe Ingles has on the bench as a leader. I mean, you've played most of his career with him. What has Joe meant to this team this year?
You just talk shit. No. I mean, it's been great. It's been great. Just, I mean, his talking actually is great because there's always a lot of truth in what he says, and he's not scared to talk to anyone and to kind of like, in a way, hold us accountable to all the things that, as individual, we can do better. So this is who he is. He's a high-level competitor, and whether he gets minutes or not, like he try to do whatever it takes to help this team win. And it's during film, like speaking to guys about what he's seeing during the games, talking to motivate somebody, like doing whatever it takes to help us win. And it's been cool to have someone that's so engaged. That a lot of guys, when they don't play, they disengage, right? But Joe has been really embracing his role as a kind of like a veteran that has seen a lot and that wants us to win.
Is there a certain satisfaction that like you, Mike, and Joe in particular are going on this ride again this year together?
I mean, that would be, that's special. That's special. We've been through a lot of battles together, so having this opportunity to accomplish our dream, our goal together would be kind of poetic in a way, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to I want to do whatever it takes to do that for them.
Do you reciprocate the bleep talk with Joe?
Yeah, sometimes. Depends on the day. But yeah, sometimes it's like a little too much. Sometimes when I was younger, it used to annoy me more. Now I'm like I'm able to take the good from it, use it as motivation.
Rudy, Finch was talking about earlier how this will be the first time y'all had the opportunity to close out. What does that mean for you and the team and for the city?
I mean, it's a great test for our mindset as a team, and obviously we know how every game matters in this playoffs. Every day off matters, so it's huge. It's a huge opportunity for us, and it's a huge opportunity to capitalize on, the 2 wins that we got on the road, and also give our fans something to enjoy, even though it's just one step of the way. I think it's a cool opportunity for us, a new test. We have to bring it tonight. We've been in the past. I mean, at home sometimes and last year in the playoffs, there was a lot of times when we didn't bring it. But I think tonight it's a good test for us, a great test against a really good team, and we'll see what happens.
Hey Rudy, following up on the Joe Ingles banter, who has been the biggest trash talker you played with in your career?
It's probably Joe. Ant talks a lot and enjoys it, but Joe is maybe he doesn't talk as much, but he try to find whatever weakness you have, he try to find it and take advantage of it. So it's I think it's Joe.
Is Jaden the quietest that you've been around in terms of?
Jaden is a quiet talker, and it took me a couple of years to realize it.
Yeah.
But he will score a basket, and you can't even read his lips, but you're here like. You can't tell me. And I'm like, who said that? And then I realized it was Jaden the whole time. Sorry, I might get fined. Jaden would almost whisper after he score, like but he talks a lot too. You just do it subtly. You don't really see it.
Well, we haven't seen it, yeah.
You don't see it, but it's fun. When the first time I realized it was fun.
Has it been kind of expected then that Jaden and Joe get along so well?
I mean, yeah, I kind of expected them to get along really well. Jaden gets along with everyone. First of all, he's a great guy. You know, he's a funny guy. You wouldn't think he's funny, but then he's a really funny guy. That's like a quiet, funny guy.
Thanks, Rudy.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.